Hello everyone, Voodoo here, and another week, another round of Havoc Demon Hunter and Vengeance Demon Hunter changes. So I have the notes up here. One more thing I'm going to cover, and then we'll jump into the game, and I'll show you guys the new trees. So this week we have updates to the Havoc tree, we have the new Clash tree, and we have updates to the Vengeance tree. So lots of stuff today. So let's roll into it quickly and just give you guys a little bit of a rundown. So there's a lot of changes here. We'll try and sum it up a bit. Pretty much the big stuff here. Special sight is now 30 seconds, which means the fodder makes it 1 minute. It's now hasted, so that's fixed. Legion decrees in the Clash tree, fodder's in the Clash tree. Fodder is now a 1 minute CD. The hunt was buffed by 22% and the dot buffed by 30%. Now, when we go to the tree, you'll see that the damage over time node was actually removed. So this is baked into the hunt now for 1 point, but it also just does 22% more damage single target, which is really good. Sigil Flame is buffed. It's now baseline. It's buffed by 200%. Now, this isn't as big as it seemed because Sigil Flame was bugged before where it was giving you more damage than intended. That was fixed. This is still probably a net buff, especially with other things. Live by the Glaive is a new thing. Whenever you parry or have one of your attacks parry, you store health and get Fury. ICD of 5 seconds. Probably not that good. Maybe for Vengeance, and you'll never play it for Havoc. All these things are removed, which is fine. And then we have stuff that's just making it 1 point. And a few other changes to a few things. Overall, good stuff. We'll go over when we get to the Clash tree, of course, just giving you a bit of a rundown there simply. Also, like the video, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Follow me on Twitch. I'll stream changes there and all the good stuff. So, moving on to Havoc. This has Blind Fury, now increases Blade Dance, final slash damage by 25 and 50. This is actually Dancing with Fate. So this is actually buffed compared to how it was before. Used to be 20 and 40. Now it's 25 and 50. So good change. Blind Fury is back to how it was before. Those are both 2 points. Good changes. We have 4 new talents here. Demon Hide gives you 5% more magic damage, 5% less physical damage taken. Really good change. A lot of our damage is magical. And physical damage is our worst damage type. We took a lot of damage from physical abilities, like crazy amounts. If you ever did like higher keys, you just die to physical things. So 5% is not like a ton, but it's nice. It'll help out. Dash of Chaos is really fun. For 2 seconds after you use Spell Rush, you can activate again to dash backwards. We'll never use this because where it is and just what it is, but it's a really fun button to push. Scars of Suffering, 4% verse, 8% less threat. Great talent. Ripping Threat was a problem in keys. Verse is really good because we don't have a lot of it. So 4% is going to be 4% damage done, 2% damage reduced, which is great. And finally, for the best talent, Chaotic Disposition, CD. Each time you deal chaos damage, which is a lot of our damage, there's a 7.77% chance to duplicate 33% of the damage up to 3/7 total times. It's a 2-rank talent. So basically what this does is every time you deal chaos damage, every single instance of chaos damage, you're going to roll 3 or 7 13-sided dice. So if you have 1 point, it's 3 dice. If you have a 7, it's 2 points, it's 7 dice. So you'll roll that 1 out of 13 3 or 7 times. And every time one of those rolls hits a 13, let's say, you're going to duplicate 33% of the damage you just dealt. So every single damage event, you're going to roll 7 individual rolls. And for each roll you win, you're going to duplicate that damage. This is really powerful, probably too much powerful. It double dips right now with Chaos Brand, which is making it do a bit more than it should be. But overall, this like competes with Know Your Enemy levels of a talent, which is kind of crazy because Know Your Enemies is our strongest talent by far and like just one of the strongest talents. So that's cool. I-Beam damage buffed by 15%. Great. I-Beam needed to be buffed. Fel Barrage damage doubled, increased by 100%. Again, good. Fel Barrage was really weak. Isolated Prey now causes Immo to always crit, was 30% increased damage. This is solid enough. You can like play Rage Fire and single target and no mover, I guess. It's roughly equal to 30%. I think these are like not too different. It does devalue crit a bit, but like not anywhere near like enough to really matter. Throw Glaive now triggers Cycle of Hatred's effect when Furious Throws is selected, which is great. Soul Rend is a 1-rank talent and was moved and nerfed a bit. Shadow Destiny was nerfed a bit as well. So these don't seem like a ton, but when we get to the tree in a second, they're actually like much bigger changes than you'd think they are. Then we have the Vengeance stuff. So Vengeance didn't get a ton of changes, but the ones it did get are pretty good. It has a new talent, Ascending Flame. Sigil Flame initial damage increased by 50%, which is good, and multiple applications of Sigil Flame may overlap. I don't know if the multiple applications of overlapping thing is ever going to matter too much, except for whenever you're generating a lot of Fury from your tier set and like really reducing it. But it does allow you for some good damage, so you know I'm never going to argue against that. It means that if you have Sigil Flame buff active and you're pushing another one, you're not actually losing damage out. So always a good, just good in general. Illuminate sigils is one of the coolest things they've added. Sigils have 1 additional charge, and you have 20% increased chance to parry from enemies afflicted by Sigil Flame. This is additive, so if you have 22% parry already, you will have 42% parry against enemies with Sigil Flames on them, and then all your sigils have 1 additional charge. This includes things like Misery, things like Silence, things like Chains, and things like Elysian Decree. All of those are sigils, as well as Sigil Flame, of course. So this is a great talent, really, really cool, and I love to see it. Then they reduced a bunch of talents to 1 point: Agonizing Flames, Steaded Spikes, Burning Blood, and Dark Red Boon. Chains of Anger is also reworked to just increase the duration of sigil effects by 2 seconds, as well as its previous effect. And Soul Carver just gives you more soul fragments on initial hit. So overall, really good changes. Now you're probably like, oh, but Voodoo, like, I don't really know what this means. I don't really know how this will work out in the end, and that's fair. So let's hop into just PTR right now and take a look at the tree. So this is our tree now. So as you can see, lots of things have changed on the class tree. This is 1 point, this is 1 point. Misery moved up here. Misery Defeat is gone, which is good. Really happy there. Also, there's a bug right now where Fellblade doesn't actually use up a talent point. So ignore this little build I have here. It would be something more like this, I guess, with Fellblade. I don't know. Anyways, just a little bug there. The Misery's up here. Vengeance gets it by default, which means Vengeance Demon Hunters have Sigil of Misery now, which is really, really good. And then just in general, all these nodes are a lot better. You have a lot more options in the top of the tree because you're like gaining 2 points basically, because this and this are now 1 pointers, which is good. Come down here, Aura of Pain was separated from Fellblade, so we can take this now, and it's actually a damage increase, which is really good. The parry was moved over here, which means that we can just avoid this all together now, which is again really, really good. These are still here. It's problematic, but it's a DPS increase to take these, so we're going to be taking them for now. Just whatever in the grand scheme of things, but you know, not ideal, but it's there. Nothing else changes too much. We see some reductions here. Will the Eldari is now 1 point, but it's 5%, and this is 1 point, but it's 5%. Overall, good. Slight loss. We've gained survivability in our tree, though. And in the bottom, not a lot has changed besides this is now a choice now with Fodder the Flame, which means that CA is pretty dead for us for the most part. Fodder at 1 minute is way better than this is. You might play this in like mass AoE or something because it's uncapped, but we'll see. Rush of Chaos is here now. You're going to take this always. Hunt is here now. You're going to take this always. Hunt was buffed. You can see that you do more initial and you do a lot of dot damage as well now, which is really good. 1 cast of the Hunt does like, I don't even know how long it is, like 100 and 200,000 damage and potentially more if you crit and stuff. So overall, I think it's pretty good there. And you'll see on this side here, sigils have changed as well. This is the new talent. So Quicken Sigils now just makes them activate faster, which is whatever. Flames of Fury. So Sigil Flame deals 35% increased damage and generates 1 more Fury per target hit. Really good in AoE. This is just a random tree I threw together. I don't know if this will end up being the thing we want to do. And then finally, Elysian Decree is down here now. All together, really, really good class changes. Nothing too crazy in how these things work in the tree, but I think it does like add up to be like really, really good changes here. I'll grab new fodder to show you that the GCD is better, but basically really good stuff here. Not too much complaints about the class tree. There's some things like Precise Sigils is still making you target where you're like auto targeting when the things go is rough. Lost in Darkness is really like whatever, but like it's a PvP node. But like just in general, I think the class tree is really good now, and I'm pretty happy with it. You have options and stuff. There's not much DPS on the top of the tree, a lot of DPS on the bottom. I still think that like Darkness and all the survivability stuff should be moved further up, and DPS now is moved to the bottom, but that's just me. Moving on to the Havoc tree, we have replacements for the bunny nodes. So this is Demon Hide. This is the physical damage reduction and magic damage increase, which is really good. This is Improved Fellowship moved here, and we have a choice node against Dash of Chaos, which is a really fun talent. We're gonna talent into it just so I can show you guys. We'll just, I don't even know. What can we drop here? We'll just drop this one. Just so I can show you guys what it is, because it's really cool. We have a lot of new icons now. Critical Chaos is new. Demon Hide's new. This is new. This is new. This is new. So things shouldn't duplicate. There's like 1 duplication of icons and that's it, which is overall really good changes. We've seen that Accelerated Blade is moved up here and Dancing with Fate is moved down here, and these are 2 points now. Furious Throws is still here. Scars of Suffering is the verse and threat reduction node. You're going to take this. I'm just taking it to show you guys Dash of Chaos. Overall, really good. So they've changed a few things as well. Relentless Onslaught is here still, but I think it's a pretty bad node now, but like whatever. Dancing with Fate swapped with Serrated Glaive as well. Serrated Glaive is down here. Still kind of weak, but it exists. Dancing with Fate being good. We have a connection added here. I don't know why there's not a connection here. Kind of weird that one side has it, this side doesn't. We've lost our connection in the middle here. Again, fine, because they want these to be 2-pointers, which is okay. These being 2-pointers is really good too. One of my complaints with the tree earlier was that we would end up just taking all the talents to the top 2 gates. And now there's choice. Now there's actually things to pick and choose between. The builds can feel distinct, which I think is a really good step. Now coming down here, we have a few changes. So this does be reduced by Throw Glaive. Now currently the tier set works with that, but the tier set will be changing and I'll get to that after. So this changing is really good. This was nerfed a bit. This was buffed to all hell. AFI works. And finally, we come to Chaotic Disposition. This talent is absolutely insane. So I'll just grab this random build here. I don't think this will ever be what we end up taking. It's just something I'm doing to show around and test stuff. You know how it is. I need to actually put Spectral Sight on my bar as well. Let's just throw this somewhere. So I want to show you the Fel Rush talent first, because I think it's really fun, and then we'll spec into something real for AoE. So I Fel Rush forward and then Fel Rush back. You just kind of zoop around like that, and both casts actually give you momentum. So if you watch my momentum bar here, we're at 5 seconds, Fel Rush 10, Fel Rush back 15. So each one's actually giving you momentum. So I don't think we'll ever take this, because it's not really like a big damage increase. The Fel Rushes do damage as well. So Fel Rush through, deal damage, Fel Rush back. Oh, didn't work. I waited too long. Fel Rush through, do damage, Fel Rush back, do damage as well. So, you know, it's like a full-on Fel Rush. It doesn't maintain Unbound Chaos or anything. So I do this. The first one's Unbound Chaos boosted. The second one is not. So, you know, don't be like thinking you're gonna get like a crazy thing from that. But all together, pretty fun talent. Just again, it's behind Critical Chaos, and it's not really like a damage node, so we're never gonna pick it. So I do want to show a little breakdown of just like this talent in AoE now before we end off my thoughts here. Chaotic Disposition is crazy. So if we just kind of go into this pull here, we Sigil Flame, we pop this, we do this, Hunt in, Unbound Chaos, I-Beam, Throw Glaive, do this, boop, boop, meta, do. A lot of buttons to push now, but you can see my damage is like really high on burst. It could be a little higher. I'm still low gear level. My mastery is not very high, so all these like things I'm using aren't actually being buffed that much. But you know, our Immolation Aura going. Also don't have Essence Break, so again, not sure if this is going to be the final form of these builds, but you know, pretty cool overall. So we'll just have meta end up here. Look at my breakdown. Chaotic Disposition is doing a lot of damage. Now again, this is currently double dipping, but this is a really strong talent. This is a bit of like a damage breakdown just of our short little opener there. Really good. The I-Beam buffs were good. Sigil Flame does a ton of damage now, more than Trail of Ruin does. Launch Thorns doesn't do a ton, but didn't proc much. Immolation Art does a lot. Rage Fire does a lot. Annihilating Flame does a lot. It's hasted now, so this trinket's crazy. Chaotic Disposition is insane. Hunted a good amount. Death Sweep and Demon. So really strong stuff, really fun stuff, really interesting stuff. Overall, I think these are really good changes. Now, my one gripe is that the things in the bottom tree here are still very constricted. Like, if you're grabbing Soul Rend, you're kind of like grabbing all the glaive things. Even though I don't have Serrated Glaive right now, this is just like an idea or whatever, throwing out stuff. We usually take Serrated Glaive this way. So the issue comes in that we have like basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 capstones down here, because these are basically capstone level talents. It's not crazy to see them being their own capstone. So we have a lot of points in the bottom of our tree. We have the second most points in the bottom of our tree in the game, and we have, the third most points at 19. Windwalker and Elo Shaman are ahead of us. And then we have the second most total percentage of points in the bottom. So like 42% of our points are down here, as opposed to other classes being in the 30s. Elo Shaman again is ahead of us there, but their tree is a little bit more free form, allowing you to take stuff. So it's a little unfortunate that all these talents are locked down here, right? All of our build defining or build sub theme unifying talents are down here. This is all just kind of generic stuff. So that is one thing being looked at. Reels has mentioned it. If I pull up what he said, I can scroll up here and find it. Effectively, basically in like an M+ scenario, you're taking every Throw Glaive talent except for possibly its Capstone and Soul Rend. or you could take every Immolation Aura talent except for its Capstone and Soul Rend, or you could take both of these talents but not take Essence Break. So it feels like builds are not very complete, and in order to complete those builds, we have to sacrifice a pretty big part of things, which inherently choice isn't bad. I think the fact that there's just so many different things that we're trying to go down and do now is just really unfortunate, especially with how powerful Chaotic Disposition is. Even if this is nerfed a bit, the intention is for it to be kind of similar in strength to Know Your Enemy, which is like a crazy talent. If it does that, Know Your Enemy is the reason we exist at all, because this talent's really, really strong. So we'll see what ends up happening. I do expect Soul Rend to be moved. Reels has mentioned it. The other big gripe I have is that our tier set still sucks. Now, there are changes coming in for the tier set, so if I just pull up this here, this is a note that Reels has posted. Zleer is his thing on the forums, which is just Reels backwards. So we see here, the issue is more than Soul Rend requires several other talents to be decent, and he's like, we agree. That's why I noted Soul Rend's current position within the final gate as being particularly restrictive, because taking any other Throwglaive talents prices in taking Soul Rend as well. So I would expect Soul Rend to be moved out of the final gate, which is great. If Soul Rend is available in the top 2 trees, it's going to be almost a game changer here. Okay, but the big stuff here is we also recognize tier set bonuses are weak from a tuning perspective. We're making adjustments to kind of make things a bit better. Basically, what's going to happen is the 2-set bonus will now read, Blade Dance automatically triggers Throwglaive on your primary target, and each slash has a 50% chance to Throwglaive an enemy for 35% damage. The 4-piece is Throwglaive reduces the remaining cooldown of the hunt by 2 seconds, and the hunt's damage over time effect lasts 6 seconds longer. And then he says, the 2 sets initial full power automatically triggered Throwglaive will consume a charge and thus require that a charge is available. This will reduce the need to manually cast Throwglaive, but without denying it completely, where you still can throw Throwglaive out if you're out of boss or you have an extra charge, but you won't need to think about it too often. And then the partial damage ones will do the same thing. And then the 4 sets cooldown reduction will be applied once from each Throwglaive cast or proc, and will not be affected by the total number of glaives thrown. So basically, if we go into the game right now and I like hunt in here and then I throw out a glaive with Furious Throws, it's going to proc the CDR twice. Or if I go here, it's going to proc the CDR like a ton of times. See there, I just jumped chunked by a bunch. The same is true with Cycle of Hatred, which I know I haven't shown off. But basically what's going to happen is every time you throw a glaive or proc it, it's just be 2 seconds flat no matter what, which will get the hunt down to roughly 50 seconds to a minute, which is like way better than it was before. And this one here, the automatically triggers Throwglaive will be a full strength Throwglaive. This will work with the set bonus down here. It will work with Cycle of Hatred, but the glaives from the auto throwing will no longer work with Cycle of Hatred. They won't work with Furious Throws. It'll just be like 1 glaive, which is fine. But I do think overall this is going to be a much stronger tier set. So Havoc, I think, is in a much better spot than it was before. I'll have more videos and stuff. Sims are going to start coming out and everything about like what's going to look like. I do think that our biggest issue now is just the bottom third of our tree has too many points that are too important. So if we move some things up, move some things around, I think it'll be in a good spot. But we are a lot more tankier now with all these new additions we've gotten. Our damage profile is a lot better. I think our tree is a lot more interesting with these new talents. And overall, I think it's really, really good. Vengeance, on the other hand, if you go just look at their tree really quickly, because I know I talked about Havoc the whole time here, we'll include a bit of a Vengeance portion at the end. But just look at their tree. Most of these points here are now 1-point nodes that really matter. So you've gained a lot of just points in the tree in general. Now, Painbringer and Fire Demise are still 1 point, 2 points just because of pathing. But we have the new thing down here, Ascending Flame, which Sigil Flame's initial damage is increased by 50%. And then we have new Chains of Anger, increase the duration of your sigils and radius by 2. And then we have Illuminated Sigils, which is they give them an additional charge. So we just kind of path down here. Sigil Chains is down here now, by the way. And then we just kind of, grab random other stuff. We have 1 extra point, throw it here, whatever. Actually, I would probably want to come down here. But there's a lot more choices now. I will say, there's definitely bad things about the tree. They didn't touch Revel in Pain, Soul Barrier, Bulk Extraction, Retaliation, all these bad nodes on the right side. They didn't touch them at all. But I do think these new things are really cool. I don't really want to spend points here. But this is kind of what the tree looks like. It's much improved. I'll probably have another video later talking about it. There's still issues, still really buggy, but I do think that Vengeance itself was a lot better off than Havoc to begin with. So like even these small changes I think are really good. I think Ascending Flame is a really cool talent. We can take it, and then I don't know, I need what, like 1 more point somewhere? Okay, I don't have a point down here. Oh geez, I don't want to worry about it. And we'll just do that, whatever. I think it's pretty cool. I'll just click this out so we can show you guys actually. Clicky click. Boop 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 boop. Whatever, I don't care. Okay, apply changes. So it's also impossible now, by the way, to get all 3 capstones. It's just not really doable because of the 2 points. But if we look now, my sigils should all have 2 charges. I think it's a bit bugged right now. It's not really working. Yeah, it's not working. But, you know, I put sigil flame down and I should have increased parry against them. Again, it's bugged. Everything's bugged on PTR. Nothing works as it should. But I think the Vengeance stuff overall was pretty good. Less so than the Havoc stuff. I do think Vengeance still has some issues. I'll do a video later. But I think overall, really good changes, really good stuff. But what do you guys think? That's kind of going to be the video for today. What are your thoughts? What are your ideas? What do you think Havoc still needs? There are some issues still with this still being on Spectral Sight. I don't know if they're going to change that. Bottom of our tree still needs some work. But overall, I'm a happy camper. I think Havoc's in a much better spot. We're much tankier. Our tier set's gonna be real. We have more options of the tree now for different builds. I'm really happy. We'll see where things go in the next few weeks, see what happens with the tier set. But overall, I am happy. So let me know your thoughts down below. I'll have more videos doing like testing and sims and stuff when those start working, which should be pretty soon. And I just want to thank you all for watching, for liking, for commenting, for subscribing, all that stuff. Become a channel member if you want to support me. Follow me on Twitch to watch me stream live. And yeah, so I'll catch you guys all next time. Happy, what is it, Thursday, and peace. A big thank you to all of my channel members. Thank you, Andrew Keenel, 121, Payne, Andreas Latinakis, Joshua O'Connell, Period, Brad Wisniak, Zuligan, Exclamation, It's Bulk, and Flapjack67. Thank you all so much. It means the world to me. If you want to support myself, get some exclusive videos, get some emotes for comments, get an exclusive section of my Discord, then follow the link down below. Help me out a little bit. It's a great way to support me. But again, thank you all so much for helping keep the channel going and for all the support and everything. And appreciate you all. See you guys next time.